Well, one sleeper show that I think might be much more important than many people are considering is Agatha, Coven of Chaos. We haven't heard a lot about the show, but a new casting call for the series seems to indicate 2 Young Avengers might very well be making their way into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And interestingly enough, that's not all. Let's break down the full report about what's going on with the Kathryn Hahn series and dive into the new aspects of the MCU that might be coming to life. Now, as many of you remember, we all got to know Kathryn Hahn as Agatha Harkness during WandaVision. During her plot to attempt to steal the Scarlet Witch's powers, she eventually was defeated and ended up trapped in Westview with no memory of her past. Now, we don't know what happened since then, but we do know she is headed back to the MCU and has her own series coming up on Disney+. Now, surprisingly, Agatha Coven of Chaos appears to be a kind of project that might be more important to the next chapter of the MCU than many fans are thinking, and some recent casting details from Murphy's Multiverse seem to indicate some interesting characters that are about to join the cast. Now, the team over at Murphy's Multiverse has reported that they are looking to cast an actor aged 17 to 20 to play a lead character who does happen to be gay. They describe this person as witty, astute, and a bit of a fanboy. And many people actually believe that this could be Billy Kaplan, aka Wiccan, aka Billy Maximoff. Now, we got to know Billy in WandaVision as a much smaller child, but it's pretty clear they might be interested in aging him up, and again, this is one of those key pieces of the Young Avengers that many fans have been speculating could be happening. Now, in the comics, Billy grew up with another family and was completely unaware that he was the Scarlet Witch's son. Actually, he's a huge fan of Thor, and bases all of his look and style, as well as his name, on his Asgardian heroes. Now, as they're casting Billy, his brother Tommy could be right around the corner. And if you're a fan of the comics, you know he plays the character Speed. That particular casting has yet to be confirmed, but I have to say, where there's smoke, there's fire, and those two go together just like Tommy and Billy. Now, there was another interesting detail about this casting report, and that is the fact that Marvel Studios is also looking to cast one more actor. And once again, this is an 18 to 20-year-old to play a gay male. Now, this particular character is described as having a great sense of humor and a kind soul, who is totally in love with his boyfriend and has an athletic build. If you're a fan of the comics and these characters, this should totally sound familiar, because this, to many fans of the Young Avengers, absolutely sounds like Teddy Altman, the half-human, half-Kree teenager known in the comics as Hulkling. Now, introducing these 3 characters could set up a lot of stuff in the MCU in the upcoming series, and quite honestly sets the stage for several stories. Not only does it help us bring together the Young Avengers, but it could lead to other interesting comic book stories involving these characters, such as the Children's Crusade. Now, the idea of Wiccan being included in the series does kind of make a lot of sense and kind of ties into that name change. Typically, a coven, like a Coven of Chaos, is a group of witches, and Wiccan is a name for, well, witches. So I really do like the idea of how they might have been tying Wiccan into this series from day one, and quite honestly, who would be better to fit into that story than Agatha Harkness? Now, I am kind of worried that this will be a show for Agatha that's more about all the rest of the characters, and hopefully the show really does ultimately focus on Agatha herself. I still do believe several other witch characters could make it into this series. Whether this is Magic, Jennifer Kale, or even the Scarlet Witch herself, we'll have to wait and see. But I think the show could bring some interesting magical characters to life and set the stage for a lot of that supernatural aspect of the MCU that's being formed over the last couple of months. Now, we don't have a lot of other details about the series. We know it's coming out next year, and of course, Kathryn Hahn will reprise her role as Agatha Harkness. They also haven't revealed who the villain for this series will be, but I have to be honest with you guys. If I'm making any guesses, I think it's very likely going to be Morgan Le Fay. This hasn't been confirmed anywhere, but she would make the perfect foil for several of these characters, and adding her to the MCU and aspects of Camelot would also be a nice new doorway inside the MCU. We've been a pretty big fan of Kathryn Hahn's Agatha Harkness since day one on this channel, so if you are too, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, because we're going to bring you all the news. But until we know more, what do you guys think? How do you feel about the possibility of Wiccan, Speed, and Hulkling joining the upcoming Coven of Chaos series? And does adding these 3 characters make you a little worried it will be more focused on these Young Avengers versus the actual title character? Tell me what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.